I really don't want you at the wedding. I don't want to associate with someone like you who'd resort to illegal means just to be popular with the opposite sex. I wish he'd cut ties with you. You're not fit to be his sister. What are you talking about? Before I could respond, the call ended. That was when Jackson was getting married. My name is Sophia. I have a father, a mother, and a younger brother named Jackson, 3 years my junior. Both Jackson and I chose colleges close to home to save money, so we lived with our parents. I went to a less prestigious college, while Jackson went to a top-ranked one. We continued to live at home even after graduation, choosing jobs nearby. But now, I'm unemployed. My recent company laid off about 100 employees, and I was one of them. I was in a good position in the company, so I never saw it coming. It's been about 2 months since I lost my job, but I have some savings. I'm taking my time looking for another job. Jackson, on the other hand, recently got engaged to his girlfriend and is living a charmed life. He's doing well. He earns a good salary, and he even gives money for rent and food to our mom. Mom once tried to refuse his money, saying, "You don't have to." But Jackson insisted. "Think of it as paying back for all you've done for me." He's such a good brother. We used to fight a lot when we were kids, but since middle school, he's been bigger and stronger, so we stopped fighting. In fact, he even looked up to me when I helped him with his studies. Well, now he's surpassed me in knowledge. As for Dad, he and Mom have been running a dessert shop for a long time. It doesn't make much, but Dad used to work for a big company, so they have a good amount of savings. "Seeing our customers smile is what keeps me going," he says, working enthusiastically at the shop every day. One day, as the 4 of us were having dinner, Jackson said, "I'm thinking of getting married." The 3 of us stopped eating, and Mom was the first to speak. "Oh my, that's wonderful news! When can we expect a grandchild?" "Don't rush things, Mom, and remember, I get to hold the baby first. No objections allowed." Both were clearly thrilled. I was happy for Jackson's happiness too. A few months later, as the wedding preparations were in full swing, my phone rang. It was an unfamiliar number. I answered. "Hello? Is this the sister-in-law? I'm Lily, the one getting married to Jackson. Nice to meet you." Apparently, Jackson asked for my number and called me. I had seen her picture before, and she was stunning. I wondered where they met. "Nice to meet you. I'm Sophia, Jackson's sister. What can I do for you?" "I really don't want you at the wedding. Someone with your low education willing to use illegal means to be popular with the opposite sex? I don't want to associate with you. I wish he'd cut ties with you. You're not fit to be his sister," she responded cryptically. "What do you mean by that?" Before I could answer, she hung up. What was that all about? Did I do something wrong? I pondered for about an hour but couldn't think of anything. And why would I? I had never met her before. Yet, she called out of the blue with such a strange request. Isn't it normal for all family members to attend a wedding? Or is this some new wedding trend I'm unaware of? I decided to wait for Jackson to return home and ask him about it. But Jackson didn't come home that day. Apparently, he had decided to live with his fiancée before the wedding to ensure a smooth start to their married life. When I told Mom about what Lily had said, both she and Dad were furious. "What is she thinking? A wedding without family? That's ridiculous." "Absolutely." I wasn't angry at the time. I wondered if I had unknowingly done something, or if Lily had been fed false information about me. But my parents' anger didn't subside, and they decided that none of our relatives would attend the wedding. So it seems that no one will go to Jackson's side. According to Jackson, Lily's family members all graduated from top-ranked universities and held prestigious jobs. She felt embarrassed that her fiancé's sister, me, didn't have a stable job and attended a lower-ranked college. Dad was livid. Discriminating based on education? Ridiculous! Jackson apologized to me later, but we never discussed that topic again. When I told Jackson everything Lily had said, he was shocked. "What? What does she mean by illegal means? Sis, you didn't do anything like that, right?" It seemed Jackson was hearing this for the first time. When I denied it, Jackson said he'd talked to Lily. A few days later, Jackson called. It seems that the truth has been revealed. Apparently, Lily had been suspicious because of the drastic difference between my high school and college photos. That should be it. I was quite chubby in high school. However, after entering university, I realized that I would no longer be popular. So I went on a strict diet and dropped my weight from 220 pounds to 150 pounds. But Lily couldn't believe it. She struggles to lose just 2 pounds, so she believes I must have used illegal means to drop 70 pounds? Given my lower education, she thinks it's plausible. Jackson tried to convince her. She just worked hard on her diet. But Lily wouldn't listen. Even worse, both Lily's father and mother believed her and insisted I shouldn't attend the wedding. I was so taken aback by this that I was at a loss for words. I decided, with my parents' agreement, not to attend the wedding. A few days later, Lily called again. "Sister-in-law, you're the worst! Because of what you told me, we were humiliated." "What? I didn't do anything. I just chose not to attend. I just didn't attend the wedding." The next day, Jackson called to apologize for Lily's behavior. "You let Lily walk all over you," I warned. Jackson replied, "I'm sorry, but I can't stand up to her." Apparently, one of Lily's relatives is a major client of Jackson's company. His career and future promotions hinge on staying in this person's good graces. If he upsets them, the business deal could be canceled, and Jackson could lose his job. I was more concerned about Jackson's situation and told him not to worry about it. A week later, Lily called again. I really didn't want to talk to her. "Sister-in-law, you're unemployed, but you have a lot of savings, right? If I get pregnant, we want to live on the second floor. Could you move out? It'd be better for our baby." I don't want to say this, but being around someone who'd resort to such means to gain popularity is bad for the child's upbringing. Indeed, my parents live on the first floor and I have a room on the second. She wanted to use my room for their unborn child. Without hesitation, I declined. "That's not possible. Goodbye." And I hung up. Although I haven't found a new job yet, I've been making money through forex trading using my savings, and I contribute more to the household expenses than Jackson does. I was content living with my parents, and I had no plans to marry anytime soon. But I was worried that refusing Lily might affect Jackson's career. The next day, Dad was furious. "Why did you refuse to live with them? It's just living together. I always dreamed of living with my grandchild. Are you trying to take that dream away from me?" Dad's face is red and angry. I explained everything Lily had said. Dad calmed down. "So, they want to kick you out and take over the second floor because you're bad for the baby's upbringing? Unbelievable. But if things continued this way, Jackson would always be under Lily's thumb. That's why Lily always calls me directly, not my mom. I told Mom, I'll move out. It should solve everything. Besides, they won't live here forever. Jackson always talked about living in a beautiful, spacious house." Dad was silent for a while, but then said, "All right," and hung up. A few days later, I moved out to live on my own. Soon after, Jackson and Lily moved into my parents' house. Lily began preparing 2 rooms, one for their baby and another as their bedroom. Half a year passed. Mom called me. Since they moved in, they haven't paid any living expenses or rent. But I can't believe Jackson would do that. I think Lily might be stopping him. Why do you think that? Well, Lily doesn't cook at all, uses the bathroom whenever she wants, and keeps the heater on all winter. The electric bill is sky high. She keeps saying she's about to give birth, but her belly isn't getting any bigger. Apparently, Mom was doing all the housework, including cooking. The next day, I called Jackson. "Jackson, how's living with Mom?" "It's fine. Lily seems to be getting along with Mom. I'm hardly home, but the laundry's always done and the room's clean. Make sure you thank Mom, okay?" "Thank her?" "She's doing everything. Laundry, cooking, cleaning. And I heard you're not even paying living expenses or rent. You should at least cover that." "What?" "Lily told me she's doing everything. I give the rent to Lily every week. Are you saying she's not doing anything?" It seemed Jackson was clueless. A few days later, Jackson invited everyone for dinner at their place. Mom made lots of pizza, my favorite. It seemed Lily was helping, but Mom told me she was just doing it reluctantly because her relatives and parents were coming. The doorbell rang. It was Lily's parents. As we all sat down, Mom said, "I hope you enjoy the meal, even if it's nothing special. It all looks delicious, doesn't it, dear?" "Yes, it does." Lily's parents complimented the food, making Mom blush. Suddenly, Jackson raised his voice. "Before we start eating, can I say something?" He turned to Lily. "You haven't been paying the rent I gave you to give Mom, have you? And what exactly have you been helping Mom with?" "What? Money? What are you talking about?" Lily looked panicked, glancing at everyone. "You told my sister to leave, didn't you? So we could move in. What were you thinking?" I always thought Jackson was quiet and focused on his career, but this was different. He seemed serious. Lily, flustered, said, "It's your family home. Why should we pay rent? It's not even a mansion. And I do the cleaning." "The one actually cleaning is my mom. And where did the rent money I gave you go?" "Not just the rent, you didn't give her the living expenses either. What did you spend that money on?" Turns out, Lily had been enjoying fancy French restaurants with that money. And she'd been treating her friends, too. Lily's parents both turned red and apologized. They didn't know the real reason I didn't attend the wedding or why Lily was so keen on moving in. "It's our fault for raising such a daughter. We're truly sorry." Then Jackson turned to Lily's mother and father. "I'm considering a divorce. Please think about it." Lily burst into tears. Lily's mother pleaded, "Please don't do that, I beg you," and deeply apologized to Jackson. My parents and I were shocked and looked at Jackson. But Jackson didn't stop. He turned to me and said, "Sis, I'm truly sorry. We'll move out, so please come back here. I've been weak and let things slide, but I realize I was wrong. I'm so sorry." Jackson said this with tears in his eyes. "You don't need to apologize. It's not your fault. But are you serious about the divorce?" Jackson, with a serious look, replied, "I am. Marrying her was a mistake from the start. She was overly concerned about educational backgrounds and even told you not to come to our wedding. She lied about expecting a baby, kicked you out to live in our family home, and pocketed the rent. Shame on her." Jackson shouted at Lily. Lily cried even louder. The food had gone cold. What a waste. "We'll take our daughter and leave now." With her head down, Lily left with her parents. Lily's father pleaded with Jackson to reconsider, but Jackson firmly refused. In the end, Jackson divorced the following week. I could have moved back to my family home as Jackson suggested, but I didn't. Living alone had its perks. Instead, I urged Jackson to return, and he did. Fortunately, Jackson's career wasn't affected. In fact, he was asked to keep the matter private to avoid family embarrassment. 6 months later, Jackson left his job to start a new business using his expertise. "I'll turn our family's dessert shop into a top-tier company." He was enthusiastic, but Dad seemed a bit puzzled, saying, "It's fine the way it is now." As for me, I found a new job and a boyfriend. I plan to introduce him to my parents and Jackson soon. He's quite nervous. While marriage is still a ways off, I vowed to myself never to become a wife like Lily.